Vice is a new film directed by Adam McKay and stars Christian Bale as Dick Cheney, the former Vice President of the United States. And it tells the story of Cheney's rise to power and all the horrible things he did while working for the Bush administration. I really like Adam McKay's comedies, and I really liked The Big Short. It was a lot of fun and it was very informative about the 2008 financial crisis, which up until that point I hadn't really got a handle on. This film is very similar to that one in that it helped me get a greater understanding of the hows and whys of the invasion of Afghanistan and the war in Iraq. I did like this film, and I do have a very strong urge to watch it again, but I think I will wait for it to come out on Blu-ray first. But I also think that I do prefer The Big Short purely because of its entertainment value and its style. This film is a very similar style, but it's more subdued. It doesn't seem as fast-paced, and I think it's probably because it's focused on just one person, and that one person is a famously non-charismatic character, which is much less engaging than the colourful characters who were in The Big Short. That's not to say that the Cheney character is not a good one, and Christian Bale should probably win the Oscar for Best Actor because he absolutely just disappears into this role. And it's not just about the physical transformation. He just loses all charisma and likability. He's very cold and inhuman, and it works really well because the things that his character does are so important and impactful on the real world. Amy Adams is also really good, and she comes across at times as the person who probably has the more control and drive. And at times it seems like Cheney is doing whatever he is doing for her. There are a lot of comparisons to be made between these two and Kevin Spacey and Robin Wright in House of Cards. I don't know what it is, I just love seeing relationships in TV and in movies where they're like real partnerships, where they probably do love each other, but their ambitions are just so in sync that they're perfect for each other and they work together towards a goal. And it was nice to see these two back together after American Hustle, which I really liked as well. What brought the film down a bit for me was the way it was filmed and the way it was structured. A lot of the scenes use very shallow focus, so the majority of the scene is blurred out. It makes the interior shots very claustrophobic, and that mixed with the editing style that's going very quickly through these events and time periods makes it kind of confusing to watch. I think that they were going for the effect where Cheney just like disappears into the backgrounds of these very important moments in history, which is a good idea because this film focuses a lot on the idea that a lot of average people don't really know who Dick Cheney is or how much of an effect he's had on their lives. It also jumps back and forth between the earlier and later moments in Cheney's life, and sometimes it shows the same scene a number of times from different angles, and it seems really unnecessary, especially considering what the scene is actually showing. The Big Short had the concept of the characters breaking the fourth wall, talking to the camera and explaining what's happening in the scene. This doesn't really do that. It has a narrator and he does explain what's going on, but it will have these scenes where the characters will start to act very literally based on something that the narrator just said. Like there's a scene where the narrator says, like, basically these characters aren't just going to turn to the character and spelt out a Shakespearean soliloquy about what their motivations are. And then just after he says that, Christian Bale and Amy Adams will start to talk to each other. I think it might be in iambic pentameter, but it's definitely, they're definitely speaking in like Shakespearean dialogue. There are a few things like that in this film, and I really like them because they make the film feel a bit more unique, and it raises it above the sort of normal run-of-the-mill biopic. The first half is just okay, and then around pretty much the halfway point there's this really funny fake out scene. I didn't fall for it, and I don't know if anybody actually would, but I was laughing so hard during it. I just thought it was so funny, and the film picks up a lot after that, so if you're sitting through the first half thinking it's not that great, just wait, it does actually get even better in the second half. That's about the same point where Sam Rockwell's George W. Bush shows up, and he's really fun. He's not in it that much, but his scenes with Christian Bale are really good because Christian Bale's very no nonsense and George W. Bush is very like lighthearted and charismatic, and he's calling Christian Bale like a yo you rascal and stuff like that, and it's a lot of fun to watch. I actually wasn't sure how I felt about this film or how much I really liked it, but two things pushed it over the line for me, and that was the fake out scene in the middle, which was hilarious, and the reveal of who the narrator is. I won't give it away because I really didn't see it coming, but I just thought that it was a really clever and impactful idea, and it actually kind of gave me goosebumps. I also don't really know how true to life this is. I'd imagine that it's pretty close, but I'm sure there are a lot of people that say it's not close at all and a lot of it's fabricated. I don't really know. But for the story that it is telling, it's entertaining and compelling, and if any of it is true, it's still pretty heinous. The film makes it clear from the start that they couldn't really ever know what the characters were actually thinking in real life, which is why I think they don't talk to the camera in the way that they did in The Big Short, so that their motivations are unclear. The Cheneys seem to want power just for power's sake, and they don't really seem very concerned with like the Republican ideals. There's actually a great scene in the start where it just seems like Dick Cheney just decided to be a Republican because he kind of liked some guy and found out that he was a Republican, which I thought really spoke a lot to his character. And that again, it's like House of Cards, where it's all about power and achieving power and keeping power. But in House of Cards, it was made a bit more clear because Frank says that, you know, he wants power to build a legacy so that basically he'll like be remembered for hundreds of years. But we don't really know why Cheney's doing it, which I think is the point and is kind of scary as well. I give Vice an A-. I liked it, and I really hope that Adam McKay continues to make films like this. Kind of like they're a Michael Moore documentary that have been brought to life and given characters and a plot. Thank you for watching. Please comment down below. I want to know if you've seen Vice and what you thought of it, and if you agree or disagree with any of my points. And I'll be back soon with more reviews, and I'll see you then.